We're gonna have a lot of fun today. So let's go around and just help me remind me of your name.
I'm Chase.
Chase.
Jonte.
Jonte. Markel.
Jonte.
Go ahead. Joshua.
Anya.
Tanya. Anya. Quentin. All right. So who here can tell me what a poem is?
A poem is a form of writing. It doesn't necessarily have to rhyme. It just has to, like, I guess, mean something, and it doesn't even have to be a page long.
Who else can add to that? What a poem. Go ahead.
Sometimes in the shape that it's written, it like talks about what's in the poem.
Okay, so poems have this thing called an aesthetic, right? Who here knows what that word means? Aesthetic. Anybody? You've heard it before? How do we spell aesthetic? Do we want to try?
Aesthetic.
Yep.
A-E.
Good job.
A-E.
Yep.
S-T-I-C.
Close.
A-E.
H.
Wait, what is the word?
T-I-C.
E-T-I-C? You're right. That is how you spell aesthetic. The interesting thing about aesthetic, we have to be kind of quiet because other people are working. So. Right. So the interesting thing about aesthetic is that here's an E. And that E, you don't really pronounce that E. It just exists. Maybe it exists to make the word pretty or not. But that's a great way of like remembering how to spell aesthetic. So today I brought you guys a poem from a poet named B.P. Nichol, and he mostly works in aesthetics where his poems have a visual, they look pretty or they're designed a certain way.
Is it shaped like a heart or something?
I
It
know.
says love.
Right? So let's all take a second just to look at this quietly. Let's go ahead and look at it and think of some ways that we can interpret this poem.
It can go different ways. This way, this way, this way, this way.
It looks like steps.
This way, this way,
Right?
this way.
That's it.
All the E.
Can you guys see over
It
here?
looks like steps.
So in a couple ways it looks
E
like
just
steps.
go straight up.
All right.
I
Now,
didn't even fall.
do you guys see any lines that cut across the poem that are perfectly straight?
The
Or
E's.
the E's? Now let me ask you guys kind of a difficult question. How do you think you would read this poem out loud? A lot of poetry is meant to be performed. How would you read this poem out loud?
You can't, as long as it says.
You can't?
Love, 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 love,
It's
love,
just
love.
yeah, just like you say love over and over again.
What do you guys What do you guys think the meaning of this
Love
poem is?
evolve.
That's really profound. Let's write that down.
Maybe it's love evolves.
Love evolves.
No, love evolves. Can't just be evolved because it's not.
What other words do you guys see in this poem? Evil. Is love evil?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Wow, that's pretty deep. Do you guys think that you could make a poem like this, where you could take a letter or words
I
and
see Leo.
you see Leo? Do you guys want to look at another visual poem?
Sure.
Okay. And I need someone to read this poem for me before I turn it over. You want to read it, Quentin? Okay. Here, I'm going to show them, and then I'll let you guys all read it.
Google. Don't you frog?
How would you read it, Quentin?
Frog, pond, glop.
Now notice how like the line here goes from the FR to the vowel to the G, right?
Frog.
So it goes frog. But is O and G over here on this line? So if we were to read this, go ahead.
Frog, pond, lop.
Glop?
Lop.
Glop. So you would actually take the G out of this. What do you guys visualize when you see this? What do you think, Chase?
I'm thinking just like maybe a frog jumping into water because it's like, as he said, glop, or maybe it's like lop, like something like that. Just jumping like frog jumping into a pond.
Do you guys think glop is a real word?
No.
But does the word exist? Do you ever hear what glop is?
What, like a glob of jelly?
Yeah, glob of jelly.
Glop is jello.
I don't know if it is actually a word. I know that it's used. What other things make glop? What other things make the sound glop? So do you guys see the visual aspects, the aesthetic or the artistic aspects of this poem? Can you identify one of the visual aspects of the poem?
The line.
The line?
The line connecting FR to O to G.
What do you guys think about the way that the letters are written? Do you guys think that somebody hand wrote them, or do you think that's a text?
Hand.
Okay. Markel, we're gonna move on to sound poems. Marquel, I'm sorry. Do you wanna? Can you read for me a poem, a sound poem? Yeah.
Music.
Okay. So this is called a sound poem. Sometimes in sound poems there are letters and vowels that make sounds, and they're kind of illogical, and they just exist to be performed. So do you want to read this out loud, Marco?
Music do what? I'm good.
You don't want to read it? Chase, I'll let you read the next one. Well, actually, let's all read it. Go ahead, you go first.
Mi.
Oh yeah.
Do, mi, la, so, di. Ra, fa, mi, so, la, ti, la, b, r, m. So, Tito?
Yeah. That was a great interpretation. Do you want to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was kind of reading it really short.
Okay, now let's listen to how she read it. Now let's listen to how Taylor read it.
Music. Do, mi, D-O-M-I, do, mi, la, so, L-A-S-O, D. Ra, fa, mi, so, la, ti, T-I-L-A, A-F-I-R, M-S-O-S-O-S, T, do.
Do you guys
Save
think
our
that's a
souls,
poem?
our souls.
Do you guys think that's a poem? Even though there really aren't like a whole lot of like real words in it, they're just sounds.
Save our souls, our souls.
Is that what you think of when you think of SOS?
SOS. Save our souls, our souls.
Are there any words in this, like actual real words in this? Music.
Do is a musical term,
Do is a
Dom,
musical
I
term.
do me.
and so is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
I see. Dom,
Do, ti, la, fa, sol, mi,
So do you
mi,
guys
do.
think that like this is playing with the musical structure that we have? No? Maybe? Change it a little bit?
Can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do, mi. Do, and I do me, la, so. La, so, ra. Fa, mi, so, la. Ti, till, a, so, s, t.
So you saw all these letters in the space, but you decided to read them all together as a word. That's really interesting.
Till a.
All right. So this is what I need you guys to help me with. I need to make some of these poems. Can you guys help me make a couple concrete visual poems as well as some sound poems? And then maybe you guys can work on your own? You don't know how to make a poem.
I know how to make them, but I'm not good at them.
Well, maybe we can work on our skills together and get better
You
at
can
it.
write any poem?
Well, I would prefer that we write poems that are visual, that have some sort of like aesthetic aspect to it, as well as something that can be like read. a sheet poem?
A shape.
Shape poem. We can do shape poems. That's considered like a
Tested.
part of aesthetic. Yep. Aesthetic. All right. So somebody pick a word for me. Any words.
Energy.
Energy. All right. Where should I write energy at?
In the middle.
In the middle. Okay.
Maybe put like a whole bunch of energies and like lightning bolts.
Okay. Oh, I love that because we're taking like how this little line right here in the frog pond glob, we can make a symbol of energy. All right. So Quentin, where should I put the energy bolt at?
All around it.
Well, you have to start first.
Strike it
No,
right
like
through the middle.
put a whole bunch of the word energy.
Okay. So why would I strike it right through the middle?
Because it's energy.
And it goes through itself? All right, so can we take some letters and kind of mimic the way that this poem is written, maybe? Like, do you see how, like, there's a mirror image right here?
I was about to say, you like shopping. Like, do something on the other. Like, just write. So energies are made